Hi, I'm Shelby Ott, and this is my Marketing 345 final. During my time in this course, I created and analyzed content focused on digital productivity and organization hacks. The primary goal was to share useful strategies for students and professionals to manage their time, tasks, and digital tools more efficiently. My objectives included increasing engagement by encouraging discussions and interactions, building a personal board as a productivity and organization expert, and testing marketing strategies to understand what works best for the consumer. I developed multiple platform content strategies tailoring to content for different audiences. Key strategies included posting daily tips, tools, and hacks and engaging formats. So this would include like carousels, stories, infographics as well. And then using relevant hashtags to improve visibility. This would include, I would say my biggest one was productivity tips. I would do stay organized, declutter, just little digital productivity hashtags like that. And then experimenting with different time posts and identifying peak engagement hours. I did notice that my top peak engagement times were later in the afternoon, and I would want to say around past 7 o'clock. Like once students are home from classes, like they're going to scroll on their phones, they're going to scroll online. That was when I most noticed that I was getting the most interactions. And then I would analyze weekly performance metrics to optimize content. So if 1 week before that changed and I wasn't getting as much around 7 p.m. on a Wednesday, that next week I would try maybe 3 o'clock and see if that does any better. And then the following week, see what middle we could make with all of that. These are my main 3 types of post I would include in a week. One, including a breakdown of the information, including steps to something or a checklist, which is shown in the top left. And then the next is a simple but to the point, a short paragraph that keeps viewers interested, as you can see on the bottom left. And then lastly includes either a link to websites or infographics that make these posts more fun and interactive, while also using hashtags throughout these posts and asking questions. I do believe that I achieved my goals, and I noticed a boost in interactions when I included call to actions. So this would include comment your favorite app to use to stay organized. Has anybody used Google Notion to best see if you stay organized? Has anybody used these infographic calendars to best stay organized? When I would do that, it would either get more comments or I would get reshares. And I believe that it was the idea that friends would see it and send it to their friends saying, oh, well, have you tried something like this? During my time in this course, I did not use organizing software like Hootsuite for my content. I originally did try, but I did notice that I was a lot more efficient just organizing it myself and doing all the work. And yes, it was a pain in the butt, but it was worth it in the end, knowing that I got to do all of it. And knowing that I can do it in a timely manner, which made me definitely feel a lot better after knowing that I can do that. And then I also based my post off of the Facebook account Upwork. It was one of the first ones that I found once I first started this course. And this account is a world's work marketplace, so it connects millions of businesses with independent talent around the globe. And their post would include a variety of paragraphs, infographics, videos, hashtags, and call to actions. I didn't do a lot of videos, but they did also do a lot of infographics, and that's why I started to do a lot of infographics, because I would notice that the more different something looks, people are going to stand and read it, whereas if it's just more of a paragraph, people aren't most likely to read it. But then with that, I did notice too that when they would do big paragraphs of just text, like no infographic, would be read less than if they had a paragraph that's only about 2 sentences and just kind of gets to the point. So I did notice that fluctuation in their post, and that's why I started to do that as well. And then I decided to maintain a friendly yet professional tone, more of engaging and accessible, but still informative and structured, especially because my target audience was college students who are fast-paced and can get distracted and sidetracked very easily. It was either more of an infographic that had a lot more words on it because it's pretty and cute and they're going to want to stop and see what it's about, or if it was my short just text, they would be pretty short because there's nothing really keeping them there other than the fact that it's short and they can just read it, think about it, and then go on their way. These three examples of posts worked best for me and my brand. These three posts had the highest engagement rates of an average 14 likes, 2 comments, and 3 shares. I believe this is because I not only have a post explaining something that has worked best for me and being personable with my audience, but I also include short and simple routines to get into to start a little change in your productivity life, while also using graphics like to the right that are informative and useful. Facebook and Instagram were my most successful social platforms that I used during this course. They both would average out to about 12 likes per post. Some would be a lot less, a couple would be a little bit more, just because I think that it was kind of hard to gauge that target audience, especially in like such a short pace of 6 weeks as well. And then also around 2 comments and 4 reshares, which I thought that the reshares for being 4 was actually like pretty good. I was pretty proud of that. And I do believe that if I made them a little bit more personal, I could have gotten a higher engagement rate. I did some posts more personable, trying to say, as I said in my last thing, that, oh, this has worked for me, what works for you, what doesn't. So I think that definitely, if I did a little bit more of those, that would have helped out. But these 2 sites did have my target audience the most, and I noticed these 2 growing more than my others because I was able to find more of my target audience on it. I wasn't as much on LinkedIn or Pinterest, and on those apps, they were most likely on them before, so they were going to be on it while I was on. And then these 2 helped me attract professionals interested in organization and efficiency as well. On to analytics and how they shaped my strategy. So carousels and reels performed better than single image posts. I didn't do many reels just because time management, but my carousels and Instagram stories were definitely my most successful. And engagement was higher in the evenings. As I said previously, I still kind of had to adjust that with each site along the way, but I did notice that evenings would get a higher engagement rate. And then posts again with personal stories and relatable struggles get more comments. Completely is what happened for me. I noticed that if I was saying, try this, it worked very, very well for me. I would get more interaction. And then this data helped refine my content when it was focusing more on interactive, engaging formats and posting at optimal times. So my key takeaways about social media marketing is the consistency and quality matter more than quantity. I did start to notice that if I was feeling kind of burnt out and couldn't think of more ideas, I noticed that those wouldn't be as great once I posted them because it was just something that I wasn't able to put my full effort in, especially because it's really been a really busy semester and a very hectic semester. That definitely knowing that the quality of your product and your brand is a lot better than how much you're spitting out a day. And then keeping track of audience engagement, questions, polls drives reach. It drives so much more audience, and knowing that and keeping that in the back of my head was something that also kept me going and kept me learning a lot more about media marketing. And then reverse engineering and successful accounts and kind of going back and forth as to what other successful accounts are doing and how I can make my account successful enough just as them, and kind of going back in their far feed and just like seeing what they have done to get up to this point, and knowing that yes, there's never a late time, and that even after this I can always still keep posting on these accounts and maybe one day be one of those accounts that I have looked up to. But that's all. Thank you so much.